Well, very warm welcome to everyone. Thank you very much for taking time to join us today. I'm Michael Payne, work with IADFS, as many of you know, and on behalf of Acetyl and our partners with Moodie Davitt and Filter, we want to thank you for taking time to meet with us today. This was in response to a request by a number of exhibitors or potential exhibitors to have a little bit more information about how the program will work and how the exhibiting opportunity will work. So we set this up to get right to the discussion on exhibitors with just a few comments about the summit that we are all excited about for April. I would say and remind everyone that these exhibits, this opportunity to participate in a virtual exhibit are critical for Acetyl and IADFS and our efforts to continue to do the advocacy work on behalf of the industry. And if we needed another example, I don't think we've got a better one than the tumultuous year we've had so far and all of the challenges that we are all facing, every one of us. And I know we're all hurting and struggling and suffering, but this opportunity to come together in April, I think is going to be very helpful and very impactful and give everyone a chance to reconnect and talk about products and talk about issues. We've got an excellent program designed from a content perspective. We're going to hear a little bit more about that in just a second. We're working hard to bring the exhibitors in. We've got lots of interest. We've got good participation. We obviously want more, and we're trying to accomplish that, and this will help us, I think. Also, understandably, a lot of folks have questions about how it really does work. So the plan today is for me to be quiet in a moment and introduce Dermot Davitt, who's going to say just a little bit about the content of the program. Jose Luis is going to talk a bit about engagement from his Acetyl world, and then we're going to have Alex Cook from Filter talk more about the actual opportunity to exhibit, how it works, give you a walkthrough, give you a real feel and touch for it. So that's our goal today. We hope to have questions towards the end of the presentation. There is an opportunity to ask questions online. So if you just submit them, we'll get to as many of them as we can. I suspect some of them will be duplicative, and so we'll try to answer as many as we can. But again, the goal today is to really talk about the exhibit hall and the opportunities to exhibit. But I would ask Dermot if he would share a little bit of commentary on the content of the educational program that we're working on. So again, thank you all for participating. Dermot?
Yeah, thanks a lot, Michael. So for those who don't know me, I'm Dermot Davitt and president of the Moodie Davitt Report, and we're really pleased to be co-organizing this event with our friends at IADFS and Acetyl. We've got a really strong conference program, what we call the Knowledge Hub, shaping up with a broad and diverse and really high quality range of speakers. We feel we've got airport chief executives, we've got senior leaders from travel retailers and brand owners across the Americas. And I think importantly, the event is going to see all channels represented, from airports to cruise to borders, as well as that geographic diversity that I know people are interested in having. So we'll have speakers from North, Central and South America, as well as the Caribbean. So naturally, we'll explore that the rhythm of possible recovery whenever that might take shape in the region. We'll also talk about the reshaping of the airport experience and the travel retail experience post-COVID. We'll talk about consumer demand and how that's changing. We'll talk about digitalization, sustainability, obviously a key theme, diversity and inclusion, alongside sessions that analyze travel prospects for the region and on the economic outlook for North and South America. Now, we'll be announcing quite a few more speakers over the coming days. We have, I know, announced a fair few already. Overall, we're looking at close to around 50 speakers across the week in around 20 sessions, some fine tuning to be done on the program, but that's the way it looks right now. And we obviously, along with IADFS and Acetyl, believe those Knowledge Hub sessions represent great value for delegates who come along. And importantly, it all comes via really user-friendly, proven platform that we use for our own virtual Travel Retail Expo last October. So there's an exciting program taking shape, and we look forward to sharing a lot more with you in the coming days and weeks. Jose Luis, I think you're going to talk a little bit more about who's attending also?
Well, thank you, Dermot. Yes, well, I can confirm that all the ASO team members will be participating. That's the first time you will have the participation of all the operations of Dufry from each country. So you will have the opportunity to talk with the manager from Ecuador, from Chile, from Peru, from Colombia, Mexico, Uruguay, etc. Okay, but not also the airports or the borders will be. You will have Uruguayan duty-free borders, and for the first time, you will have the possibility, because they have registered many Brazilian border shops with the new operation that is increasing their sales, is increasing in amount of operations, okay? And we have worked a lot with them since the last year, trying to get the understanding of the Brazilian government to change some things to improve the development of this. So it's the first time all the suppliers will have the possibility to talk directly to a lot of, I would say, a big branch of operators and responsible in each area. So this is a very, very good opportunity. We have the commitment of all the members of ASOTIL and also those that are not members, like the Brazilian Border Shop, that will work very close with them. We represent them. We are, I would say, as we had in the past, the help from other big associations as IADFS when ASOTIL was born. We are helping the Brazilians to develop. So it's a very, very good opportunity. Also, we are working with some Brazilian specific suppliers to be present. So I think it's a tough moment for everyone, but we have two good associations. We have two good technological and media partners, the best ones, okay? And we'll get all the participation of the best operators of the region that will be there to share with the suppliers, to interact with them. So it would say there is no doubt that this event, the ROI you will get participating will be very, very good. So I really encourage everyone to participate because it's going to be a very good opportunity. We need the support of everyone. We need to continue working with the government to get help for the airports, help for the duty-free, help for the operators, help for everyone. So this is one of the events that we need to share and to show the power of the industry in the region. Thank you very much. So I will give now and present Alex Cook from Filter, who is the digital magician of this event.
Thank you, Jose Luis. Hello, everybody. I'm going to share my screen now because I'm going to take you on a bit of a preview tour of what the Summit of the Americas will look like come April. And I want to show it in the eyes of a buyer, and whether that buyer is based in Argentina or Brazil or America or Canada, they can log in April and be able to join this virtual community that is being assembled, driven by high quality content that Dermot has been talking about, but also driven by the opportunity to meet with brand owners who invest in being a part of this this virtual expo, and having the ability to make new connections, to solidify existing partnerships, and to continue to plot together as a community, as a region, on how to manage the aftermath and the recovery from the COVID situation. And I think that's a truly unique opportunity that the power of digital and virtual provides at a far smaller cost base, therefore giving a lot more opportunity for a very strong return on investment that participating exhibitors should get. So let me talk you through the journey. Now, this is our virtual building, our virtual expo hall, and when a buyer logs in April, this is what they will see. And then with one click, they move inside the building. And of course, because every delegate attending this event needs to be a registered user, that means that we get the data, and it allows us to be able to understand the behavior of people within the space and to be able to track and get the analytics from that, something that actually a physical show doesn't have the possibility to do. And you as an exhibitor would get a daily report and a weekly summary of all of the visitors who visit your stand, what they see, what they click on, and that would also allow you to then follow up with those individuals that you might have missed or not spent the time with that you might want. So this is the main atrium of our virtual expo hall. And in front of us, we can see three core pathways: Knowledge Hub, Exhibition Hub, and Experience Hub. And I'll be focusing on the Exhibition Hub here and how your brand can participate within that space. So if we look a bit closer at some of the categories, we have all of the major product categories within travel retail represented. And we think that's good to bring together and cluster the associated category peers within one space. And then if I take you, for example, into the wine, spirits, and beer hall, this is the overview of that space. So every exhibitor clearly visible, either on the stands within the floor in front of us, or those with a platinum suite along the back wall. And we have 4 tiers for this event of 4 exhibitor tiers: bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. And I'll talk you through a little bit of information about what each of those entails. And so you can really feel about what might be right for you as a potential exhibitor. And I'll start at the most accessible level of that, which is the bronze tier. And so if I click on, for example, company A here, this is the new bronze stand design. So what we have is the overview of the stand, which would be customized on a very simple level to your brand. So the change of logo and the change of the key visual there. And the principle of bronze is that it doesn't add too much of the design frills to it, but it more makes it's an opportunity for you to have an access point to the retailers, so they can come and meet with you. You can ignite new conversations and really start at that very sort of basic level of engagement with the different users. You can see a flashing beacon on the screen here. This is a touch point, so when the user clicks on that, it can play some form of information that you might want to showcase to the user. And I'll just show you, just as an example, if I click on this here, actually we've put in a virtual reality space, but that could also be a PDF, a video, a presentation, anything that you might want to showcase as your most important piece of information to communicate to the audience. Along the top here, we can see a user bar, a stand information bar. So again, you can host and place your information that you want your audience to see within that space. So just as an example, we've got a few videos that have been inserted. So when you click play, the video plays, PDF documents, etc. You can also put a meeting booking system. So when I click on that, it takes me through to, this is a mock-up my colleague Anna, who's also on this call. So I can pick and choose a meeting of her availability and can pre-schedule meetings in with the user. Now that's in response to a visitor asking for a meeting, but also as an exhibitor, you will get access to the database of all registered visitors, meaning that you can reach out to them and pre-book meetings before the event itself. And that's one thing we've learned from the global event last year in October, is actually the more pre-work that you do in terms of communicating to your customers and potential customers, and on platforms such as LinkedIn, the higher the traffic to your stand and the more success and return on investment you get from this week at the show. So if I'm a user and I come to your stand, I can also engage with you in a number of ways. So you can see the chat button in the top right. So when I click on that, I can see that in this case, Anna is a representative of this brand, and I can either send her a message via LinkedIn, I can send her an email which is built into the system, or I can launch a live chat with her here. So a chat window pops up and I can type to her and send her a message. But if it's about communicating with somebody in a different language, there's also a translation service here where you can pick and choose which language you can translate into, which can make things easier when we're talking about the international markets. So that gives you a very brief overview of the principle of a stand from a bronze perspective. If I go then back out into the hall, we can look at a few other examples. So we step up to a silver. This is a bigger space. And within the silver and gold stands, our company Filter will work with you to set up the stand to your brand. So it's a customization, a stand customization service, which is included within the the exhibitor rate there. So the moment that you commit to the event, we will assign a dedicated manager, account manager to your account. You'll have a kickoff call. We'll talk you through the process because this will be very new to many of you. Let you know what's needed from your side, and from our side, our design teams are ready to basically work with you to create the stand and make it look the way you want it to look within a set number of design templates. So in terms of customization, we're talking about the logo, the materials, the colors, the visuals, the product, your product on the shelf. And then the same principle as some digital touch points, such as a video example here, or as mentioned earlier, PDFs, 360-degree content, etc. And the same principle of the stand content bar applies to the silver and indeed the gold level. And I'll just jump into the gold stand, so you can see even bigger space. In the case of the gold, they have a media wall included within the package as well, so you can play videos on that space. And there's more touch points and there's more engagement that comes along with the gold package, as well as a 30-minute speaker slot within the engagement lounge, which is another part of the whole show that I'll take you to in a bit. And so the final and the top tier is platinum. And this refers to the structures at the back of the room. These are the entrances to the platinum suites. And so if I click on one of those, this is an example of a suite entrance where the large graphic is actually a media wall that you can provide your videos to play there, as well as the ability to customize and brand the outside. And then with a click inside, we move inside the space. Although one of the unique factors or components of a platinum stand is that you as a platinum exhibitor can choose who you allow into the space and who you prevent from entering. So you can determine your own sort of rights access and the privacy that you might want to have, and the exclusivity of the experience inside. So we'll enter inside. And you as an exhibitor, platinum exhibitor, own this room, this space. So what you do with it and the configuration, it's the job of my team to work with you to basically customize it to how you want it to look and the type of experience. In this example, we've set it up for a multi-brand operator who might want to have a little station or a little shop-in-shop for each of the brands within a portfolio. But it doesn't have to be a segmentation by brand. It could be by region, by product category, by consumer insight, by retail excellence feature, and anything that might suit your company and what you want to communicate to the audience. Of course, we've then got branding on the walls and a media wall at the back as well. And then if I click onto one of the platinum stands, so one of the brands here, the same principle then applies to the space that can be customized to the brands that you want, again, within the design, within the cost of the exhibitor rate. I'm going quite quickly through it, but hopefully that that you get the gist of what you would receive. Another interesting thing to show is in the top right here. Actually, we can see within this space specifically, who the visitor is here. Of course, it's myself, but also how many expo visitors are within the total environment as well. So I can click on there and I know that there are 3 people, 2 of my other colleagues who are inside the environment right now, and I can reach out to them, I can invite them to my stand, and I can communicate with them irrespective of where they are within the environment, as long as they're logged in and as long as their speech bubble is green, which shows that they're open to have a conversation. Each user can set their status to online, away, or do not disturb there, and also each user can modify their profile settings and change their picture, etc. within the space. So that's a very quick tour of the Knowledge Hub. I'll jump back out to the main atrium, just show you a couple of other features which would be of use. We have a dedicated press center, which Filter will be managing on behalf of all the participants within the show. And this is where exhibitors have the opportunity to leave their press release content, which will be access to all the media partners who are involved in the show or who are attending these shows. And a number of those are already showcased on the Virtual Summit the Americas website. There's also the opportunity there to check the media list and also download some of the show publications from those media partners. The Help Center. No, we understand that this is a new concept to a lot of people. So there will be 24-hour support for anybody in the event, and they can come to the Help Center and ask for that technical support, and one of my team will be available to help and answer that question, as well as an FAQ document, which if anyone gets a bit lost with what to do, there's a lot of information there as well. And then the final part I'll refer to is the Experience Hub. So in here we have the Engagement Lounge. So I mentioned, as part of both the Gold and Platinum packages, there is a 30-minute speaker slot within the Engagement Lounge, and this is where you as an exhibitor get the opportunity to talk to everybody within the event, including the media, including your customers, including your peers, and including some influencers who are being invited to this show as well, and have the chance to present, but the showcase is yours. You can decide what you want to communicate about. You can be as promotional or you can be as strategic as you might want to be with your content. It's your floor to communicate what you want, with whatever you would want to show. And just as an example, a spirits brand might want to do a mixology masterclass live from a bar, or do a tasting session of a new special release whiskey live from the distillery, as an example. But it depends on your product category and what you would like to showcase and announce to the world. So I will probably at that point kind of take a step back, slow down a bit. Hopefully everybody's understood me and my British accent, and really kind of hand over to pass it to the floor, and maybe we enter into a bit of a Q&A.
Alex, thank you. That's exactly what we're going to do next. But as you folks can see, that's a really exciting, user-friendly platform. There is nothing but opportunity here for people that are thinking about exhibiting and want to participate. And it's an incredible way to have as many staff people as you want in your firm represented in this summit. If you exhibit, there's no limit to how many people on your team can participate. It's the same process we're going through with the retailers. As they register, they can register as many buyers and others as they wish. We've designed it to be cost effective that way. We certainly recognize that cost is an issue for everyone, but this really gives you an opportunity to be creative and do what you want in terms of your company representation, whether it's new products or moving the products that you have in stock or whatever you want to do. So I think Alex has done a great job of walking us through it. And I think we've got several questions. And I don't, Irene, do you want to ask them or do you want us to just respond?
Well, maybe I'll pick up on those, Jose Luis, and we've been and Michael, we've been having a chat with a few people already. Heidi, I think that must be Heidi Van Roon, surely, who's been working so terrifically throughout all this crisis. When's the best time to provide press releases? Prior to the show start or during, as I've just told Heidi. The earlier you get press releases to us, the better. We're going to share them with all our media partners. And I want to make the point that this is a collaborative event. It's a unifying event for the region. We've got two associations come together. We've got a media partner involved, an agency involved as well, but we've got other media involved, which, and I want to shout out for them. So they will be showing their digital publications at the event in our press center, and they're all giving terrific publicity to the show. So everybody's in this thing together, and they will be able to pick up your press releases, Heidi, and anyone else who's watching this from the press center. But if you send them in to us or to them directly, before the event, you'll get more bang for your buck. And as Alex said, the lesson from the Virtual Travel Retail Expo, which was very successful last October, but it was most successful for the companies that, the exhibitors that really worked the show, not just at the show, but prior to the show. So that's the key to any press material you've got there. I'll just throw open some of the other questions. Let's have a look, some of which I've answered. For a non-exhibiting brand, what sort of access would be available? Good question. A non-exhibiting brand can attend and can visit all the Knowledge Hub sessions, and they can visit any stands other than the ones that Alex described as closed, the platinum stands where each exhibitor will decide who can come in. However, there will be a cost of entry for that. It's very accessible, like all the pricing, and that's US $250 for the full week. And remember the point that Dermot made earlier about this Knowledge Hub. This is not a conference that's sandwiched into a few hours on the first day. We've got some fantastic speakers spread out over the full week. So you know, for that cost of entry, you're going to get 5 days of some of the industry's leading thinkers. You're going to get some. You're going to get some other things. You're going to get some. You'll be able to watch the DFNI Awards. You'll be able to see the TRB Sustainability session, and you're going to hear from some of the real thought leaders of our business. So we think that's pretty accessible. Let me see what else we've got. Alex, one for you. How many brands can you feature in a bronze booth?
Well, the answer is you can showcase your full portfolio within that bronze booth. The limitation of the bronze booth is the amount of content that you can put in. It's up to 10 items of content, whereas it's unlimited within the other stands. And the stand itself, it will be it's a standard design. The only things you change are your logo and the graphic, but you can still from that bronze booth promote your full portfolio of brands.
Yeah, absolutely. And we would encourage those exhibitors and every other exhibitor at every tier to get their press material into us, so we can really give them this combination of event presence, but also pre and post event presence via all the media support we've got. And we think that's going to be pretty strong. We've got a question from Gustavo Valdor. Will there be a cost to purchasing visitors' companies? Now, I take it, Gustavo, you mean buyers. The answer is absolutely no cost. So it's free. There's obviously no cost of travel, no cost of entry, and no other cost really. We want you there. The only thing we require from you, as Alex said earlier, is you must register. So we know who's coming to the show, and the exhibitors know who is there. We've had another question about from a would-be or an actual exhibitor, I'm not sure. When will they know who's coming? Well, again, we're working with a proven template here. When we ran the virtual travel retail expo back last October, it was all new to us. So we've lots of learnings from that. And so we'll be supplying all exhibitors with a constantly updated registered visitor list from next month. And we'll do that probably every fortnight, perhaps every week, right up until the eve of the show. That's really important, because with that list, you know who you can pre-engage with and get meetings all arranged. So that's the answer to that one. Probably another technical one for Alex or Matt. After scheduling a meeting, will there be an internal channel for direct use instead of figuring out Zoom or Microsoft Teams as a second step? We kind of predicted that, and we've dealt with that at the Virtual Expo, but I'll let you handle that better than I will, Alex.
Yeah, sure. So built in within the system, there is the chat function, so the written chat function, and stand representatives. So as an exhibitor, you need to designate who are your stand representatives. They will also have the ability to do short one-to-one video calls with the visitor to their stand. However, if you're wanting to expand that out to a wider group, that will have to transition into the sorts of platform that you're talking about as Zoom or Microsoft Teams. So our recommendation is to have those links ready so that you can launch them from a chat and enter into a bigger meeting where, for example, your entire team could meet with all of a retailer's team around one virtual table and really have that sort of total business to business interaction and a proper meeting.
All right, thanks, Alex. Now, another question, a really good one, and one that we had a lot before our original event back in October. And again, that experience has helped us, because remember, many of the Americas buyers have already used this software, this template. And the question is a really good one. What orientation will be given to the buyers and visitors when they open the landing page so they know how to navigate? And before Alex gives you the technical answer, I'll give you the layman's answer. Right from the start, this has to be easy to use. It has to. That's why Alex and his team have created a kind of physical environment, if you like. You can see a show hall in the rendering. You know where the door is, and there's a bright flashing bulb that says this is to click, and it will take you straight in there. It's really intuitive, and you can be on a stand. What is it, Alex? In 3 clicks, I believe. But very, very simple. And also, of course, well proven now, as I said. I'm not sure, Alex, anything to add to that?
Yeah, there'll be a pre-communication going out to all registered delegates before the event, which basically shows them how the event functions. And then part of that guide will be showing them some of the navigation support, such as the general directory, the search function, and also just the navigation and wayfinding instructions, so that they're very clear going into the event, how to navigate and move around. Our experience from prior events actually is that people quite enjoy that first feeling of logging in and exploring this place, and then from that once they've found their bearings, a bit like you would do turning up at a physical show that you've never attended before. You know, you kind of get your bearings about it. The event organizers helped as much as they can with it, but you know, within a few moments, you know, you're familiar with it and you're really into the groove of meeting, connecting, dipping into the knowledge hub, spending time listening to a presentation, or either live, or probably something we didn't mention earlier was the fact that this will also be on demand. So within your schedule of your week of this event, you can dip into other areas and watch content on demand if you missed it live. And really get into that rhythm of dedicating the week to meeting and connecting with and learning as much as possible from the show.
Yeah, very good, Alex. A question: how many visitors are we expecting? A good basic and important question. How does one answer that? Well, one answers that partly based on our experience from the Virtual Travel Retail Expo, and partly on the basis of who our partners are in this event. And the lead partners, I would point out, the two trade associations, and they comprise all, you know, retailers right across the region. And as both Michael and Jose Luis have referred to earlier, they're getting tremendous support from their members, and their members will be coming, but they'll be coming in great depth because of the accessibility of a virtual event. You can visit anytime around the clock from your home or from your office. We can get anyone, for example, from Dufry, as we saw last October, from CEO to store manager to brand ambassador to beauty advisor. That's the beauty. And Acetil and IADFS's members are really the associations are working really hard with their members to get that kind of really strong penetration right across the region. And as Jose Luis said, by individual country, and that is a unique virtue of this event. What we saw for any exhibitor interested in this event, what we saw at the virtual expo was a really good consistency of visitor numbers across the week. Last October, we had 4,373 unique visitors, and the encouraging thing was that the attendance didn't flag greatly throughout the week, and even on the Friday, we still had really good attendance, and in fact beyond the show, because we kept the show open for a month, that those that wanted to use it. So we're pretty confident with all this buzz going on, lots of knowledge hub activity that Dermot talked about, lots of exhibition activity going on that Alex talked about, and also some really good immersive, engaging experiences in the engagement hub. This is going to attract a good-sized audience, but more importantly, a good quality audience. We must get the retailers there. That's the key to the success of any trade show: buyer meeting seller. And we're confident that despite a pretty tough environment out there, and let's not pretend anything otherwise. It's really tough out there, but companies are hanging in there. Business is still being done and will continue to be done at greater levels in the future. And so this event, by being so easily accessed, we think is going to attract pretty much every player that's in the business, and that's a strong calling card for any exhibitor. We just had a good comment from Heidi Van Roon again from Spark, who's a fantastic Vancouver-based training group, promotions agency group, dynamic group all round actually. And Heidi exhibited back in the October event, and she said, look, talking to to fellow exhibitors, she said how valuable it was for her to have the full contact list of everyone who visited her stand. So we emphasize the analytics again. We know precisely who's coming to the show. Exhibitors know precisely who's coming to this show. Exhibitors know precisely who's come to their stand. Exhibitors know precisely what was touched on that stand by those people. So, you know, if you're a silver stand, a gold stand, you've got multiple touch points, you will know exactly what interested the buyers and which buyers. And we think that's a pretty strong virtue. Let's see if we've got any other questions. Let's have a look here. I think we've got one. Yeah, no, we've answered that one about whether there'll be an internal channel. Irene, thank you. And I think we've just got
just to
one.
say to Gustavo Baldor and his question, all the operators, the buyers of the operators will be present, Gustavo, and that's the reason, because they will be free there. That's the reason we're going to have a big amount of representative people from all the operations in each country of Latin America and also in the States, okay?
Yeah, I just want to reinforce that we do have a wide-ranging participation from Central, South, the States, the Caribbean, Mexico, Canada. So and that's just going to continue to grow. So I would encourage you all to take advantage of that. And I would also add, if there are questions that you have that you didn't want to ask or don't feel like you got the answers you need, you can reach out to any of the folks on this team, or you can call Jose Luis or myself and we can direct you to the right person if you don't know who to go to. But we can make those connections happen right away if you need help.
Good, thank you, Michael. Well, look, I think we're pretty much out of questions. So I think probably the best way to just close it off is by thanking everybody for attending, and no doubt sending out a really warm invite to everybody to come and attend this event. We try to make it as easy as possible, accessible in every way, but it is important. As a commentator on this industry for a long time, I know, and you all know, that we've never been through a crisis like this, and bringing our industry together in this way, led by two great associations that do so much for our industry. It's vital that we get the support of the industry, and certainly the invite is out there. It's a very warm one, and I'm just going to ask Michael and Jose Luis just to have a very quick closing word, and then we'll close off.
Well, I just want to thank everybody for participating and listening. And again, as strongly as I can encourage you to seriously consider being a part of this. It's important for us, and I think it's important for you. So please give it some thought. I mean, many of you are already engaged in taking booths and are just exploring options. So I would just encourage the others to give it serious consideration. And Jose Luis, you have the final word.
Well, thanks all for your time with us now. And I think this is a very good opportunity to start walking, to continue walking, and to move forward. It's a difficult time, but the worst thing is to do nothing. So we are moving forward. We need your support. We want to move forward with you. We need you.
Well said. All right, Jose Luis, Michael, Alex, Dermot, and all the stakeholders in organizing the event, thank you. But most of all, as Michael said, thank you to everyone for listening. So stay safe, be careful out there. It's a dangerous old world, but better times are coming. And we look forward to being part of those better times at this event. See you soon.
Yeah. Stay safe. Remember to shop duty free. Never forget. Bye, everyone.
Well said. Bye-bye.